What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to another amazing video on the channel. So for today, I am here to remind you of the power of the Battlin boxes. Make sure you do check out the updated deck profile posted a week ago on this exact channel. It goes through ratios and it goes through consistency probabilities and a whole bunch of juicy things that Yu-Gi-Oh players would probably ignore, but you should go and have a look anyway. So here I got you the updated combo guide for the Battlin boxes. This is very similar to the original combo guide that I posted a couple months ago now with some ruling corrections and of course the new card combo. As if you didn't know, Battlin boxes got a brand new card, which is right here. I have proxied it in the 7th Tachyon. So make sure that you do check out the deck profile and I explain why this card absolutely breaks Battlin boxes, and come back to this video so you can see exactly how. Without any further ado, let's get straight into this combo guide. Alright, so let's start off with the best one card combo the deck has to offer, which is your Battlin Boxer Promoter. If your opponent has a special summon monster, or if they just control a monster in general, you'll be able to special summon this card, preserving your normal summon, which is kind of important in this deck. But if we're going first, they don't control a monster, so we're going to have to commit the normal. But you'll see how this is a full Battlin Boxer combo. 4 summons to play under Nibiru, can be done with Dimension Shifter as well, since we do main deck that, and allows us to get 2 negates with follow-up with 1 card. So let's show you exactly how. So we're going to normal summon our Battlin Boxer Promoter. We're going to use its effect. It's going to rescue rabbit 2 Battlin Boxers out of the deck by tributing itself. So we're going to special summon Battlin Boxer Uppercutter and the Battlin Boxer Glassjaw. We're going to use the Uppercutter effect, allowing us to search a counter trap, which you may think is a Battlin Boxer card. It's actually a Flamvel card in Flamvel Counter. Now, simply overlay these two and make your Battlin Boxer King Dempsey, preferably not in an anima zone, so probably in the middle or the left if you want to be extra safe. And on summon, you're going to be able to proc its effect, allowing you to search any Battlin Boxer spell or trap, adding it to your hand or sending it to the graveyard. We're going to add it to hand with our cross counter. Make sure now in a separate chain we use the effect of King Dempsey. Why in a separate chain? Well, because if we use the on summon effect and chain the detach effect, we're going to lose both effects to a Veiler. Whereas this way, if they Veiler the on summon effect, we can chain the second effect and at least get the follow-up back into our hand. So now activate the effect. Doesn't detach for cost, actually detaches for effect, allowing us to trigger our Battlin Boxer Glassjaw, while our Battlin Boxer King Dempsey becomes untargetable for the rest of the turn. Glassjaw effect activates, putting Promoter back into our hand. Now we'll be able to set our 2 counter traps that we searched and pass our turn on 4 summons. You think the combo ends here? It actually doesn't. There's a bit more extension that needs to happen during the opponent's turn. So during the opponent's draw phase, as soon as they draw a card, we activate Battlin Boxer King Dempsey effect. We're going to detach as effect our Uppercutter. Why do we do this? Well, it gives our Battlin Boxers targeting protection for the rest of the turn, but most importantly, it gets the Uppercutter in the graveyard for the spell and trap negate with the Flamvel counter. We have the Uppercutter effect though, that's going to be able to reborn our Battlin Boxer Glassjaw, which is very nice because when this is outed, sent to the grave again, we're going to be able to grab the Uppercutter directly back to our hand, continuing the resource loop. But if we banish the Uppercutter, hopefully, if we use the cross counter, the Dempsey will be in the graveyard and the Glassjaw can simply replace the Dempsey, putting it back into the extra deck. So why is it important that the Uppercutter is in the graveyard? Well, that's because the Uppercutter actually has 200 defense. And that's important because when a spell trap card is activated, you can banish a fire monster with 200 defense from the graveyard and negate the activation, destroying the card. So that basically fuels the whole negates for the Flamvel counter, and now we have the monster negate and destroy with the Battlin Boxer cross counter. In the last combo guide, I said that you could actually destroy Glassjaw with Battlin Boxer cross counter. This is incorrect. You can only actually destroy Xyz monsters with this, so you have to destroy your Battlin Boxer King Dempsey. But that's not too bad because for the follow-up turns, you want the 1 King Dempsey in the graveyard anyway. So what it would do is negate, destroy, and now you'd special summon from your extra deck a lead yoke using the cross counter as material, giving your Glassjaw battle protection, and also it cannot be targeted still because of the King Dempsey effect. This is really cool because during your next turn, you can normal summon the Promoter, you can overlay with the Glassjaw, get your King Dempsey search, this is where you actually want to search for your Battlin box of spirits. Now you can activate spirits, milling any card, reborning the Dempsey, and now we have Xyz plays into the F0 Utopic Draco line, just like that. So that is the 1-card combo. Let's now show you the different 1-card combo before I show you how the new card works. Okay, so this is going to be explaining the 1-card combo with the Battlin Boxer Uppercutter instead of with the Battlin Boxer Promoter. So how does this work? Well, we're going to normal summon our Uppercutter, and since this is the only card in our hand, we cannot search for the counter trap. We have to search for the extender. If we had the extender, we just search for the counter trap and we do the exact same play. We pivot back into the same line that I just showed you before, but we don't, so we got to search for our extender in the Battlin Boxer Sparrow. Sparrow has the cool effect that if you control a Battlin Boxer monster, it simply special summon this card from your hand, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot conduct your battle phase. That means that if you're going second, you can normal summon this, search, attack over something, and then in main phase 2, summon your Battlin Boxer Sparrow, since it says for the rest of the turn, and no, it doesn't stack like the Runics, you will have your battle phase next turn. So special summon the Sparrow, overlay into your King Dempsey effect. This allows you to directly search for your Battlin Boxer cross counter, and there you go, 1 card. I know it's not as good as Promoter, but we have the 1-card combo into the cross counter. If you don't want to make the King Dempsey and get the cross counter, you are actually not locked into anything here, meaning you can make any generic Xyz monster that you feel, being a Baguska, being an Abyss Dweller, being a Tornado Dragon, being a Merrymaker, and into a Gigantic Champion Sargass. We are not locked. The only thing that locks you in this deck is the Battlin Boxer Promoter. So as long as you don't do that, this allows for any generic Xyz monster. I'm sure there's more that I haven't shown. You can make Exciton Knight. You can make quite a few. So just keep that in mind. So here I'm going to be showing you just why 7th Tachyon is such a overpowered piece of support for the Battlin Boxers, because it allows for such an increase in consistency while being able to put back your bricks. Although Glassstraw isn't necessarily a brick because you can play without it, you'd much prefer it in deck to special summon off your Promoter. So how does 7th Tachyon work? Well, we need to be able to put back a card to the top of the deck, meaning we need another card, making this a 1.5 card combo. But it can be any card, doesn't need to be anything specific. I'm just showing the example that if you open the Glassstraw, you can put it back. So we're going to activate our 7th Tachyon. We are going to reveal the Battlin Boxer card that they just naturally have in number 105. This allows us to add a Fire Warrior level 4 monster. And I know the perfect target for that. It is our Battlin Boxer Promoter. And now Glassstraw simply goes to the top of the deck. Now we can pivot back into the main combo, being able to just do the exact same plays that I showed you before. But I'm going to show you again, just for the argument's sake. And I'm going to do it as quickly as I can, as you guys have seen this combo already. So just like that, we have the 2 counter traps. You then detach, you then add Promoter back to hand, and there we go. With the 1.5 cards, you've returned 1 card back to your hand and gotten yourself the 2 negates. Then during the opponent's turn, we have the Dempsey effect to summon back the Glassstraw, well, to make itself untargetable, triggering the Uppercutter, special summoning your Glassstraw, and now we have the spell and the monster negates respectively. So now I'm going to show you what a usual typical hand would look like according to the statistics of the hypogeometric calculator. So if you missed the explanation of the deck profile, this is what a typical hand should look like given a little bit of luck. We have our 1-card starter, which is a 80% chance, and we have 2 hand traps, which is around a 65% chance. 1 hand trap would have a 90% chance of seeing it, and then if we high roll, we can actually have the hand trap protection and any other Battlin Boxer card, it doesn't matter. And this is full combo with extra interruptions and protection. So in this case, if the Ash here, we have the cross out, allowing us to go to the full combo again of our Uppercutter Glassstraw, allowing us to search for our counter and essentially our counter trap as well. Let's assume we use the cross out designator there. And then we have, again, this is the whole point of the deck. The whole point of the deck is to do this 1 combo with follow-up and have hand traps to back it up, because I think while these cards are very good on their own, don't get me wrong, 2 interruptions is sometimes enough in mediocre hands for Snake Eyes, and definitely against Rogue decks, 2 interruptions is more than enough. Having the extra layers of protection is what ensures you that you get to the next turn and you take control of the game. So let's say we used all of this. We would detach this, the Glassstraw would be here. Let's say we've used everything. Everything's been used, the Dempsey's in the graveyard. We now have the Lead Yoke with the cross counter attached, like that. And now, what do we do here? Well, we draw anything, it doesn't matter what. And now, how do we OTK from here? Well, it's actually quite simple, to be honest with you. What we do is with special or normal the promoter, use its effect, we would again summon the uppercutter and summon a random guy. If we have another boxer in hand, we can summon the chief second and get an additional normal, but let's assume that we don't. We'll just summon anything because we've already gone through the glass straw into the sparer. We overlay, we make a second Dempsey. This is where we would search for our Battlin Boxer Spirits, activate Battlin Boxer Spirits. We'll now be able to reborn this Dempsey. And now we have switched this to attack, and that should be enough for game. We have 2-3, 2-2, 2-3, and 2k. 2, 4, 6, 8 with some change. And if this doesn't kill your opponent, we can do the Dempsey effect since we didn't search for the uppercutter. And this allows us to reset our Flamel counter by detaching, set the Flamel counter. We have the spell and trap negate again with protection and targeting protection as well. So I hope I showed you the power of the Battlin Boxers. Yes, it is a very linear deck, you can say. There is some kind of room for flexibility if you don't lock yourself into the boxers with the promoter effect, allowing you to make more generic X-Seizers. A combo I really like is actually when you've managed to summon your Merrymaker and your Sargass. Let's put this back. You have your Merrymaker and your Sargass, and then you can use your King Dempsey effect whenever to make your Battlin Boxers untargetable, and that will actually trigger your Gigantic Champion Sargass to destroy or return a monster on the field to the hand. So that is a really cool interaction. It is fire as well. I was playing Gozen Match for a little bit, but in a fire format, locking your opponent into fires isn't necessarily the best. Once we pivot out of fire format, Gozen Match could be something to experiment back with again, considering that the entire deck is fires and we can make fire non-Battlin Boxer fire X-Seizers as well. This, of course, would lock you out of the Zeus lines, but I feel like the Gozen Match is very, very powerful Floodgate as is. So I hope I convinced you guys of the way of the boxers. Again, if you want to see the ratios and the reasoning behind why I'm playing the certain amount of cards, please do check out the deck profile, as I did go through a good effort of figuring out all the ratios and explaining myself to the best of my abilities. So I'll catch you later. Make sure that you stay in the ring, you stay fighting. I'll catch you all in the next video.
It's time! Let's go!